What do I need out? I think I need Hookshot out as my main item here. So I'm actually going to take the time to go around here this time because I don't really... I mean, I could have probably walked out, used a flute to go to point 5 and gone from there. Maybe that was faster? Probably was faster, but whatever. It's not too much, if I start bonking, it's not too much of a delay to get around this way. Because where I want to go is up towards the catfish. So this is normally the point where I do a bit of a loop around. I go, we actually can't do any more dungeons unless I get flippers as the next thing, or Titansmith. So I'll be coming back to that place there. That arrow on the ground actually indicates a hookshot spot that you can get across, and you can do all sorts of stuff from behind there. But it's fine. There's a couple of items I can get around the sanctuary area, and then there is obviously the 2 items up here. Maybe 3 if I'm lucky. If I get flippers up here, then I could get the other item from King Zora's place as well. So here, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Also switch to the mirror, since we can just mirror to the light world from here. So that's why I didn't go King Zora before, because I wanted to do it in tow here. That's annoying. So, I mean, maybe Zora's still got the flippers? That would be really nice right about now. Or if he's got Titansmith, then I might be slightly sad that I didn't come up here a bit earlier. But you know what, it wouldn't have mattered too much. I still needed to do pretty much everything I did. The other place I could look is the Ether Tablet. I really don't want to look at the Ether Tablet. Forgot that I don't have flippers. I really don't want to go up there because that's a lot of time sink, but if it's got something like Titansmith, then it actually leads into doing something else up there, so wouldn't be the worst thing. So, what have you got for sale this time, man? It can't be the single green rupee, because I think we've had both of those now. It is the flippers! Wow, he actually has his normal item for sale. I didn't actually do it here, but you can preview what his other item here, what the heart piece normally is. You can preview that by going across. This time it's just bombs. But yeah, you can see that from down below, so that's not too bad. Okay, so with flippers, that means I can do Swamp Palace, so I think that's where we're going to be going next. I still can't do Ice Palace because I need Titansmith for that. I still can't get Tempered Sword, which is kind of a pain. But anyway, I want to do it from the Dark World side because there's a couple items up at Sanctuary, like I've been saying, that I really want to get, so... And I can only really do that from the Dark World side, because I need to teleport back into them, pretty much. There is one item that I need the cape for that I can't get right now, but I could at least see what it is whilst I'm in that general area, see if that is important to get. So now we want... This menu is really annoying to navigate when you don't have a lot of the items. So now we are looking at this place up here. There is one item that you need to mirror around to get, and then there's another one that you don't have to mirror to get, but since I have Pegasus Boots and I don't have Titansmith, this is actually something I've had Titansmith appear in here before. You dash into here and this is where the magic cape normally is. What I refer to as Cape Grave. And it's here again! Okay, so there's a neat little trick for you. You normally expect that you need Titansmith in order to get this item, but you don't, because you can teleport from the Dark World with the mirror to get in there. So yeah, keep that one in mind. That one is really tricksy to get if yeah, you really need to know a lot with the game there. But that opens up way more stuff now, because with that done, it's just money, I don't need that. With that done, I can get Tempered Sword, I can access the a light. I can access so many things now. I can access the Dark World's Death Mountain. I can... Well, I'm going to check what the item is up here first. And then I think the next step would be get Tempered Sword. Tempered Sword helps out a ton for Argus, so really want to get that before I go all the way up into... oh yeah, this guy's the one you gotta... I really want to get that before I go into the thing. Oh, I hate these stupid birds! I think they're more like pterodactyl things, but okay, I don't need that item. Good to know. Yeah, so I can get Tempered Sword, and then probably do Swamp Palace whilst I'm sort of thinking about it. Because if I do Swamp Palace just now, then, I mean, it saves a bit of time overall, maybe. I don't know. It's the speed glitch that I was on about before, but it did with the hookshot one time. Even though I should probably do it with the hookshot just about every time, but, you know, I'm kind of not familiar with the trick in that sense, so I generally don't. But yeah, now I can get Tempered Sword. There's also an item that I can get from this side now, or there's two items I can get. There is the one that you have to hammer the pegs down for, and then there is the one from the chest that doesn't open by itself. So I'll use the hammer one first, I'll get the stuff that way. And then we'll go ahead and grab the Tempered Sword, get the chest that can't be opened, there might be something useful in there, and go from there. So another neat little trick you can do in the Japanese 1.0 is if you press dash and the item button at the same time, then you can use your item whilst dashing, and that lets you pound the pegs really quickly. Not too useful with many other items, man, just a red rupee. Well, it's not too useful for a lot of other items, but it's pretty good for the hammer specifically, so you know what? It's worth knowing about. So we can go ahead and get ourselves a Tempered Sword back. We even have the flute, so we can fast travel down to the guy. That's pretty good. Yeah, I kind of don't want to do Death Mountain until I have to for stuff there. I'm gonna do... Actually, no, I'm gonna do the Death Mountain stuff after I do Swamp Palace, because I want the Cane of Samaria for Ice Palace, just because it makes it so much easier to work around. And yeah, since I know where it is, it's easy enough to get. Just do that. I got mirror bunked. Ah, man. I just wanted to keep the chest out of the way of the portal because I want to use the flute with the portal, so that's fine. Screen transition is all you need to do in order to get this done, so grab ourselves a level 3 sword. Kinda neat that we're doing this in a sort of linear fashion that way, but you know, sometimes it happens. And now we want to go to Warp 7. And this will let us get the chest item here. I also haven't gone under the bridge yet. I need to factor that into my route. I think when I go to Ice Palace, that's when I'm going to do that particular item. 10 arrows. Not useful, but oh well. These birds are kind of hounding me right now. Those birds did not want to give up on their prey for a change. Alright, so with the hammer, obviously get to here. With the magic mirror in tow as well, we are able to enter Swamp Palace. Thankfully having flippers is, yeah, flippers from the guy who sells you flippers, who would have guessed. So, Swamp Palace has a lot of items in it as well. This is one of those dungeons that can go very, very quickly if you don't need any more items to complete the game. Because you don't even need the big key in this dungeon. You can just use the there's no big key door. The only reason you need it is for stuff that is to get the big chest. Also, that glitch is something that is specific to the Japanese version. You can use items through push blocks whilst they're in the push state, and if you use the mirror in a place that you can't teleport in, it will make the block disappear. Why? Hell if I know. I don't know any reason why anything happens with the stuff in this game. So you need the magic mirror before you can enter this place. The items required to complete this dungeon is mirror, hookshot, and hammer. That's actually all you need to complete this dungeon. Reason I have bombs out here first is just because there's the bombable wall here. There is actually a chest behind that, so we do need to pick that up. Quite often the big key ends up being down here. This time it's just a map, but I've had the big key there a lot, so... The big key's a little bit frustrating in this dungeon. I mean, this dungeon's a little bit annoying in general, because you have to go back and forth a lot, but the big key can be especially irritating in a randomizer because it can appear beyond the big chest. And there are 3 chests at the very end of the dungeon that it can be at, and you have to backtrack if it's in there, and that's a little bit irritating. Not quite sure what you were doing in... Oh, yeah, that's right, magic boomerang doesn't stun these guys, it's That's how often I use the boomerang, is that I forgot that it actually does minor damage to these enemies rather than stunning them. It's fine. So, another common chest that gets forgotten about is the compass room, but we'll get to that in a sec. Since we already have the hookshot, we just skip a little bit, get the key there, just saves a bit of time overall. And yeah, there's a chest in the left-hand corner of this room if you push the block. So, often forgotten about, and definitely worth keeping in mind. I grabbed a heart because I can. I have so many hearts in this one because I had to do light weld. Yeah, ironically, it still has the compass. How could I guess? I think the map and the compass have been in their regular item chest things this time. That's kind of interesting. If we're gonna do a bingo card, that has to be one of the requisite things of it, right? If you're gonna actually have like a regular bingo style thing for it. It is possible to miss out on some chests in this dungeon if you don't grab this key before hitting that switch. Normally that's not an issue, because normally you don't have the hookshot in vanilla, right? But in a randomizer you can kind of have the hookshot before you even get anywhere near this place, and that means that you can miss that key. Because if you trigger this switch first, then the water level will never go down again, that pot will never be accessible again, and you will lose a key. What that essentially means is that you lose access to somewhere within the dungeon that is actually possible to softlock in. Because then you could potentially miss out on items that you need to complete the game, so don't do that. As far as stuff here, you need to go the long way around there, because if you don't re-hit the crystal switch there, you're not going to be able to get to where the big key normally is, because the big key is blocked by orange blocks. Which is just one more of the annoying things about this place. If you don't hit the switch again, then you can't proceed, and it just gets kinda painful. Speaking of kinda painful, that room can normally do way more damage to that than me, so I'm kinda glad that it didn't. So there is our big key, but there's still one more chest to get over here. So obviously do not forget about this one. It is another piece of heart. Okay. Not the greatest of things, but definitely not the worst. It's looking like we're going to have a pretty solid heart total by the end of this game. I'm thinking probably 19 hearts that we're going to have. I doubt we're going to get all of them because I don't have to open that many chests in Ganon's Tower, and most of the time there's quite a few pieces of heart in Ganon's Tower, because it's one of the few items that you don't actually have to worry so much about where they are, because they're not required to beat the game. We do have big keys, so we can get that. Unfortunately, only 20 rupees this time, but you know, have to get it anyway. So here, just one more of the annoyances. Even if you have Cane of Samaria, you have to push this onto the statue onto the switch here. The reason is the Cane of Samaria block will despawn if you leave the screen like it's on. So you actually have to go ahead and do that, because you need to open this particular door in order to hit the switch to get the water lowered in this final area. Yeah, this dungeon is a ton of back and forth, and it's not that fun, to be honest, but, you know, it could be worse. You want to go down here because there's a couple of chests available, and we are really not getting a whole lot of anything here. This is interesting. I guess that means that Darkwell Death Mountain is incredibly well stocked then, huh? So one last chest here, Ice Rod. That is very, very good to have. You need the Ice Rod in order to beat Trinex in Turtle Rock. So, and the Ice Rod has very often been in Turtle Rock for me, so I'm glad to get it a bit earlier. So here you just want to grab the last key. This guy's really, really hard to avoid. You can lure it over if you're willing to take the time. You can lure it over to the right hand side and not have to worry about it, but that is slow. We don't have time for that. So Argus, not the most difficult of bosses ever. Hookshot makes you invincible whilst it's out, by the way, so you can use that in a couple of places to cheese the system. I'm not going to try and do a quick kill here because I don't know how to do it, but 2 spin attacks is all it takes to kill him with Tempered Sword, so that's pretty good. I think it takes 3 or 4 to kill him with Master Sword, but because we got Titan's Mitt beforehand, doesn't matter too much. Okay. So from here, the strategy for me is going to be Death Mountain Dark World side. I could do Ice Palace right now. Like I said, I don't want to do it with Arcana Samaria, and we know where Arcana Samaria is, so I'm going to go up there and do that just now. If there's a medallion up there, it might actually be possible to do Turtle Rock just now as well, which may or may not be useful. Actually, before that, quick detour. Because I have Titan's Mitt now, there are 3 items that I can get down here in Misery Maya. We can't complete Misery Maya even if I do get the medallion I need here, which I want to double check what the medallion is. Whoa, I took damage from nothing there. The medallion is Quake. So, yeah, I need the Quake medallion in order to get into this place. But there are some items that I can get here. Because there's 2 items in here, and then there's 1 item that you need to Magic Mirror over to. So there's bombs and magic powder. That is very helpful. I can use that to get half magic now. Or if I'm lucky, and this is a 1 in 3, you can get quarter magic, which would be incredibly good. Giving me quarter magic with Fire Rod as an item is a very special occurrence. So in here we have a heart piece. You know what, I'm still going to pick it up because it might well be worth it. At this stage, anything goes that way really. So just before we go up the mountain, let's go ahead and get the magic powder. Sorry, the half magic. Doesn't take long to get, so it's fine. Also interesting how the music kind of changes when you defeat Aghanim and whatnot for this place. Kind of cool. So half magic is definitely not required to beat the game, but it makes it so much easier to do Ganon's Tower because you can start using the Fire Rod and stuff during the gauntlet, which is really nice. Obviously I could anyway with potions, but I'd rather not. Oh baby, we have quarter magic. Oh, so normally, like I said, you get 8 uses of the Fire Rod. I now have 32 uses of Fire Rod before I run out of magic. Just sink in a little bit. I have 32 uses of my Fire Rod before I have to replace my magic. Oh dear God. That is pretty great. Also, there's a couple of items I didn't check up here because I didn't have mirror at the time, so it would have been kind of pointless to do so. So let's see what they are as well. But now that I have quarter magic, I may as well go ahead and do the Cane of Burner cave as well. So can I get that? No, I am terrible at that trick, but it's fine. So on top of here, there's the cape. So I actually would have been able to get that. And then on there's 100 rupees. I'm gonna go grab the cape anyway, because the cape is pretty good. So we'll do that, and then we'll come back out. I'll get the ether tablet as well whilst I'm up here. Good to sort of think about these things as you're going along. So ether tablet could be something good. We haven't had any medallions yet. That's the main thing I'm missing right now. So see if this is anything good. So we need out the Book of Dora. We've already seen that the first one was not good, but maybe this one is? Nope, there's the glitch rupee thing that I was talking about before. So once again, tablets are completely useless for me. Go figure. I need the hammer out here. So the other reason for sort of doing it in this order is that once I have the nice ferry. Once I have the thing done here, I want to go ahead and use the... What am I doing? No, Cane of Burner is more efficient. Once I have the stuff done here, I want to be going to the other side of Death Mountain, which is actually easiest done from the bottom. And basically this just means, well, I get a heart piece, but also it means that I can just teleport down there a bit quicker. Because I need to go down the bottom here. Look how slowly this depletes. Like, if you have regular magic, you will have run out of magic by the time that you get, you get to the end of that with Cane of Burner. That is insane.